Big Things Coming is proudly brought to you by...
A brand new music venue open in Malaga. Contact us now for bookings.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Big Things Coming, Season 3. Woo! Mel, how you going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, mate.
This is a good day today, man.
It's a good day. I've got my lollies, as usual, thanks to you.
Welcome.
No Geordie this week, but we've got Peter Renzula in the house. How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing very well, mate. It feels
Good.
nice to be on this side of the camera.
Yeah, we haven't actually had you back on since your interview, man.
Season 1, I think it was.
Yeah.
But even then I was a guest. I wasn't a co-host. So this is a whole new realm to me.
No, this is cool. Welcome.
I love this, Pete.
Thank you
I
very
love
much.
it.
It's good. I know the format now. I've got the rough rhythm now. It's good.
Yeah, we actually know what we're doing now, so...
we kind of, okay.
That's
Peter,
right.
I'd like you to introduce this week's guest, please, mate.
Absolutely, mate. In fact, this guest I didn't know was around in the scene as a musician until I actually met him weirdly on a film set. I was filming for a filmmaker, and he features in this film as himself, essentially, but is an incredible musician. Amazing work, soloist and as a band. He is Mr. Wesley Black.
Oh.
Wesley!
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome.
Great to see you again, Peter. And,
You too, mate.
and I'm excited to meet you guys as well. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you for
so
coming in.
much for joining us. So I was having a quick yarn with you before we hit record.
Yeah.
So you're a solo musician, and so you also get a band play with you for the solo music you release. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, tell us about it, mate.
I not produce the music myself. Sorry, I work with like a handful of different producers for different tracks and things like that. But I think my kind of favorite part of music is the writing aspect. So, I'll put those songs together, and then once I'm super happy with it, get it released and show it to my band that I play with live. And we make up the live renditions of them. And I can't take too much of the credit for that because, I can't play any instruments, to be honest. But
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I can't play any.
Hang on, wait, pause. Just for a second.
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned there about songwriting.
Yes.
So tell me about the songwriting process. If you're writing the songs, are you just going like creating them lyrically, melodically, or tell me about that?
No, that is actually a good question when you put it like that, actually. I think, I started with like poetry stuff. So like I was not concerned about any kind of instrumental aspect at all. So, I'd just be like writing it and stuff until one of my friends showed me. And then I met one of my other friends back at school, and he was kind of producing. So he would send me stuff and be like, like take a listen to these, 5, 10 different beats kind of thing. And I'd get into those. And that's kind of how I more so started, just like, working with people that had something and see like, what can I bring to this? Or how can I apply some like kind of poetry I guess I've written to this? But now I'm kind of in a realm where I like to sit with the song from the ground up. So it's like, I said I can't produce or anything, but I like to sit with the producers and kind of think out loud together, and be like, let's kind of structure it like this or something.
kind of backseat driving sort of thing.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
But it is a level of producing. I think from where I sit, I think it is because if you're sitting there and you're with other creatives, but it's your development, you're still doing it. You're still producing it. You know what I'm saying? You might not be pressing the buttons and turning the dials, but you're still there navigating the process.
Yeah,
right.
I agree because I think it's like I feel a lot more in tune now than what I was maybe like 2-3 years ago, where I would kind of just take the instrumental as it was, and now I'm like, I think I have a lot of different ideas that I can't make myself, but if I'm sitting in the room with them, I'd be like, can we do more of this or something like this? And sometimes they'll look at me like, what language are you speaking? But they can kind of read what I'm trying to say, I guess.
So assuming you're a vocalist?
Yes,
right.
correct. Yep.
So being a singer, mate, like what genres are you into, or what got you into music, mate? Like,
to be honest, what first got me into it, like the first ever music I remember loving was like definitely nu metal. I loved all that kind of stuff. But the stuff I put out now is very different to that. But I think that was the first time I really remember appreciating like music and being like, wow,
So what sort of bands though? You're talking about language with new metal, so
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
I mean, I love. I mean, it's probably more grunge and alternate rock as well. But like, my favorite band ever is not new metal. I'm not gonna go on camera and say
No
that's
judge.
them. But Smashing Pumpkins is probably my favorite. I love Radiohead recently. In terms of new metal, I really love Limp Bizkit. I love
Paranoid Android from.
OK Computer, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Yeah. It's still one of my favorite songs, man.
so good.
And the guitar is so complicated to
Yeah.
play as well. Like, it's actually, it sounds so easy, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
No,
We're just interrupting the flow, but I'm kind of getting the vibe.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I agree. I really love Deftones as well.
One of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I only got into them somewhat recently, like maybe in the last 2-3 years and stuff. But man, they are
White Pony
crazy.
is their best album ever.
I agree.
100%.
Actually. Yeah. Oh, actually, Around the Furlough.
Yeah.
Look, both great.
I found Deftones on Dragon Ball Z, actually.
Were they featured on one of the theme songs?
One of their movies, one of their films, like from back in the day. It was Deftones changing the House of Flies was the music.
single,
And I fell in love straight away.
Yeah. I think that's similar to how I got into music because like I've always been super into like wrestling, like WWE, all that kind of stuff. And I remember like when I was first watching it, they'll do all these, hard like edits and highlight videos, and they would always use like new metal. Like it'd be like, I don't know if you like Breaking Benjamin, all that kind of stuff.
Again, another one of my favorite bands.
Same. I didn't want to say it before because I was like, I don't know if that's a popular opinion, but I love their music.
I don't give a fuck about popular opinions, man.
I'm glad you swore because I fucking love it.
If I like the music, I fucking love the music. I don't care what the popular opinion says.
Dark
Dude.
Before Dawn album,
Oh,
brilliant.
man, that's one of my favorites.
Masterpiece.
Oh, okay, good. We're all in
So
agreement.
you must
then.
be
That's
like,
great.
do you like Seven Dust?
Yep.
Okay,
love them.
cool.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
You can stay.
Every week.
That's good. But I remember that's how I first got into it. Like similar to yours, I just see all these videos and they'll be using that music over the top, and I was like, man, this music is so hard.
Yeah,
so that's when I first started like writing, and and then I think musically when I first got involved, it was more like rap stuff because I think rap was like way more accessible online to find like beats, stuff like that or whatever, and it's so similar to poetry and stuff, so I found that kind of easier. But I always wanted to sing. So like I was trying to sing for like maybe 3, 4, 5 years even. I think I even made a singing album like when I first tried to teach myself, and I listened to it like a few years later. I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I never released that. Like it was bad. But I kind of just like really tried to push myself to, and now singing is a lot more of the stuff I do. So some of the stuff now is more like stripped back or acoustic or I guess like alternate kind of influence and stuff like that. But I do want to make some harder stuff. I have, but I'm always like, when's the right time to release? Do I want to put it out as a whole project or something, because it's like a different sound, I guess, I don't want to do too much of like, pop song here, acoustic song here, rock song there, and people are like, oh, what is this guy do?
Again,
what is this guy
fuck
doing?
the popular opinion. No, honestly, like I'm one of those people that I don't sort of like. I just don't care about, if you release an acoustic song today and then next week you release like a pop song and then next week, there's a hard song after that or whatever. I literally don't care because, for me, it shows the diversity of the artist. It really demonstrates a lot of different nuances, what they can do musically, vocally, for me. So I get excited when I hear different stuff from an artist. Like I really love it. And I'm one of those people, I don't know about you guys, I will always look for an acoustic version of songs that I love just to hear it in that different element. So yeah, fuck it. Just do you, bro. And I was going to ask about your vocal style. Like, have you got more of a clean vocal style? Like, or
I think at least from what I think sounds better with my voice, I like it when it's a bit more raspy. I have tried to do like cleaner stuff and on some tracks it works, but I think just like from the range of stuff I've made, I like it when it's more raspy and stuff. Like even lately I've been making more of that like, shoegazy type of style, and it just like it works really well when you have that lower kind of vocals and that raspiness into it and stuff, and you can just hear like, and you're super close to the mic. I'm there's so much like texture in the vocals. So I love
now
that
I really
stuff,
just want to hear this guy sing.
So How do you know Peter? Peter, how do you know Wesley?
I don't know if it's a mutual friend, but through it's actually an EDM artist named Fran, and she wanted to make a film. This is like 2 years ago now, I think, almost 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And she employed the services, so to speak, of different artists around
Right.
in that sort of genre. Not all EDM artists,
Yep.
but one of them was Wes. So I'd never met Wes before that. So she actually got him on board for this film to play this character who couldn't really talk, but he could rap. So he was very, very sort of insular and couldn't really talk, and he was scared to talk out. Like, he was very socially awkward.
Yeah.
But then when he got in front of a mic, he was just a demon, you know?
Oh my God, I love
and
that.
So his performance is a bit in this film.
So it's like 8 Mile, just your version.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then I started following him and seeing what he did, and he's just an amazing artist. And I've got to go to the live situation because you do a lot of live stuff too. If ever you're writing, do you ever think, how's this going to translate live? How's my voice going to hold out for a full set here? Or you just write and you just hope it works live?
Yeah, no, I have been considering that a lot more recently, like the kind of live element, because I think that sometimes helps shape particular songs. Like it depends, I guess, on the genre and stuff. But I made one project that I really liked 2023, so maybe like a year and a half ago. And that was like more like punk influence kind of thing. And one of the last tracks is like definitely not as much punk, like still a little bit, but more a bit of a grunge kind of element to it. And that whole song, we kind of just were like, all right, these two songs, the first two, work well on their own. This third one, let's just make it for like being like live and stuff. And it ended up like when it released, like that strangely was like the most streamed of all of them. And I was like, how did this even happen? Because I think the Spotify version is fine, but the live version is like 10 times better. And that's kind of how he made it. Like it's a repetitive song, but it's like catchy and easy to follow. So it's like, you know, like a lot of people say, you know, a song is like catchy or it's good if like you can remember the chorus the second time you hear it and stuff.
Yep.
And we're like, all right, this one is so simple. They'll just remember it the first time they hear it. Like in the middle of it, they're like, oh, okay, that's the whole chorus. So, which is really fun to do. And then, and shout out to my band as well. Like they definitely took that song and made it so much more. Like my guitarist, his name's Bradley, he plays just the usual guitar, like an electric one, but it's one of those ones, I don't want to sound like an idiot, sorry, but it's one of those ones where like you can change like the kind of tonality and the style of guitar and stuff.
Like Chaos Pad? Like it changes the actual...
Or
I think
like
so.
maybe Kempo even, or what's the other...
like how they have axe effects. They got different types.
Right,
you can make it
yeah.
sound like a violin or sound like a synth. Or
Yeah, that's the one. And he changed it to a sitar for that one.
Yeah, nice,
And
nice.
he does like a sitar kind of solo at the start and at the end. And at the end, we all just agreed to be like, all right, the drummer gets to decide when the song ends. And we just keep doing
Keep
the
going
chorus.
until,
Yeah, and I just keep like saying the same words in different versions, holding it out. And then one of them I try to do falsetto, which kind of sounds bad, but in a good way live, I guess, because you're just like, what is this guy doing? But yeah, and so we just keep going and we say, all right, drummer, you decide when we stop. Otherwise, I'll just keep singing. So, but no, it's good fun.
It's a good point, and I think what's always important, because I mean, for example, what's the biggest audience you've played to? Because it makes I'll have a point to this. What's the biggest audience you've played to?
As in just like, not my set, just like,
Oh, just a set in general, that you've been in front of an audience.
oh, it was actually on Peyo's probably, who you would have met at the, oh no, sorry, you didn't meet
Didn't
him.
I?
No,
Payos.
he was supposed to be in it, but it was the Dropkick is the song that I played at the end of the
Oh,
film. He
yes.
produced it.
Okay.
But I thought he was in it, but no, he isn't. But it was his set at the Ice Cream Factory a few months ago. And that, I don't know exactly, but there was a couple thousand, maybe like 2,000 or 3,000 or something, which is definitely by far the biggest I've done. So
nice.
How do you
That's
find
good, man.
feeding off
Yeah.
that sort of size audience compared to, say, 50 people? Is the same energy there, or do you really feed off them?
To be 100% honest, I like get super nervous live. Like I used to be way more nervous, but it's like
It doesn't look it,
there's-
mate.
It's like if the crowd is like into it, I'll go like, you know, I'll give 200% and stuff.
Yeah.
And if it's a small crowd, I'll do my best, obviously, because if people are still attending, people are paying, people are giving you time, you have to give them 100%, obviously. But it's like, I feel the pressure if it's like when I did my tour recently last year, there was a couple shows where it's like, oh, okay, you're in a bit of a regional town and it's like a Sunday and stuff, and there's like barely anyone, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I found it really hard to give my 100. Not that I wasn't trying to. I was like, I still want to give these people the best show, but I feel nervous now because it's like, I think live, like I said, I'm not the best like singer or vocalist. I think for live stuff, my best element is just like my
showmanship.
energy, maybe.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's really good when people are into it. I can easily feed off them. But then when people are just like, they're like, okay, what's this guy up to? Like hanging around. I'm like, oh no.
Bro, I feel
It's
you.
tricky.
I feel you with that because like I don't know about you, Johnny, but I get into, we've talked about this before, right? So before any show, stupid nervous. Like I'll be in the band room on my own. Please don't talk to me. I'm not being rude. I just can't. And like just until after the show's done, I'm good. But like if there's only a small amount of people there, and I can see their eyes, right? Then I'm just like, oh fuck. Like, and it's not about. It freaks me out.
Yeah, exactly that.
You know, it's too intimate.
Yeah.
Give me fucking 20,000, bro. I'm there.
Dude,
Right?
what's worse is when you walk out stage and you see, you know, the 10 people that have come
Up to the
then,
barrier.
and then only to realise, oh wait, they're here for the headline.
At least they're there for you though.
Yeah.
You know, like they're still there. They haven't left until the headliner comes on. But yeah, it can definitely change that energy input and output that you have personally, right? But I guess the more you do it, the more you just go, like just mentally switch on and be like, oh, here I am, you know, regardless of how many people
But
are
it's an
there.
interesting thing is I do find this very common that artists feel way more comfortable with a massive crowd in front of them than they do in like a little 3 or 4 person
Absolutely.
social
Yeah.
situation.
Absolutely.
It's really common.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Do you know, just a little thing, I was at a friend's birthday not that long ago, and it was a family friend, so there were twins' birthday, and they're like, 70 or something.
Yep.
But they're musicians, and I played with them through the years. Now, it's a big family dinner. Like, it was like about, I don't know, it's maybe 80, 100 people there. But there was tables and stuff, in Melville Glades Golf Club or whatever it was. And there's, a muso there, and one of the guys, members of the family, was playing guitar, and then he's like, "Come on, Mel," and I'm just eating my steak. Like, what? And I'm like, no. And then of course I had to go, and I'm like,
Oh no.
shitting my. And I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm literally eating my dinner, eating my steak, and you want me to get up and sing? No, this is oh god.
Oh no.
But it's like it was fine in the minute, and that's just because they know me and they've known me forever. So it was like just the appreciation of it.
Yep.
But dude, scary shit.
Oh, yeah.
When it's like all like everyone's just like.
Yeah, especially when you've got a bit of sirloin stuck in your teeth, you know?
That can't help. That can't help.
Bro, but yeah, intimate crowds they can be very intimidating.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, are you releasing singles or like you going through an EP or an album when you release things?
Yeah, most of the time singles. I've released I think 2. I mean, yeah, really just 2 EPs. I really want to do an album, but I've been working on it for a while, and I don't know. I just realized how tricky an album is, and it gets expensive, obviously, as well.
Yes.
And it's exactly.
I had to sell my left kidney.
I might have to do the same. I'm not gonna lie. But,
I had to sell my left testicle.
well, I'm not going to do that. But and it's like, and I feel like because an album takes so much longer to make, obviously, than a single and stuff, I always feel like I'm like, oh, now that song's not good enough. All right, get rid of that. And I'm like, make a new one. And by that time, you're like,
Second guessing
this one.
yourself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yep.
which is a bad thing to have, It's just like create it, leave it as a time capsule, and that is the project.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then release it. And if you make better stuff, just make a better album
Yeah.
after that.
Also,
Exactly.
I like to get an outsider's opinion.
Yeah.
So if you're working with a recording engineer and you've got your band there, it's like, okay, as a collective, we've all decided on this. But then to get like an outsider's opinion, like someone that knows music, obviously, it's just like, hey, listen to this. Just tell me your thoughts. Is it missing this? Is it just me? No, it's fine. Okay, thanks.
Do you think that like because you're so personally attached to it?
Yes,
that
and
it's-
that's why you do need someone's
definitely.
outside perspective without the dead ears.
And also
whatnot,
too,
so.
because where you think you may not have. Like, what am I trying to say? Where you think that you might have fucked up or not delivered the best performance or whatever or but other people don't hear it that way.
No. That's
well,
right.
that's the point. I think for all 3 of you guys, how important is someone else's opinion of the work that you like?
Well, validation is important when
Yeah.
it comes to music. Now, I'm not talking about your Spotify numbers, or maybe a little, but like not your followers or anything like that. I mean, music should be about just your music, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But then how are you going to feel when you realize, no one's listened to it? So I suppose validation is important, but it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. And I think also too, there's 2 separate times that you want to get input from people. And one of those times is when you're in the process of recording.
Yeah.
Because once it's done, released and everything, you can't fucking change it.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
the validation now means nothing to me.
But you can digitally remaster it or re-release it.
You can do that, but you're not going to go back in and re-record your vocals and your stacked vocals and do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's going to take more. The thing's released now.
I know what you mean.
So, like, if you want input, get it in the process. But
Yep.
if you just want people to listen to your record after it's out, that's fine. I
Yep.
actually look. I always appreciate when they tell me positive and or constructive
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what. I always appreciate it. But if somebody's going to feed me something after I've released something, I'll just take it with a pinch of salt and be like, cool, it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah,
That's quite fine with me. Go have a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's like I can't let it get in here.
Yeah.
Because then for me, that's when imposter syndrome starts kicking in. And that's when
exactly
I
it.
consider like, oh, I'm never going to write again. I'm never
Yeah.
going to sing again. Oh,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's one person. It's one person.
Yeah.
I,
Do you know
I
what I mean?
actually do like it when people give me the constructive criticism or even just
After
tell me
the fact? After you've released it?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like I think of it as a two-sided coin, right? These are the pros and these are the cons of hearing someone's,
Yeah.
input on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they might be right. Oh, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or you could have done this.
Yeah.
And like you say, at the end of the day, once it's out, it's
Yeah,
it's
I
out
mean, I
there,
guess you can
know?
take into consideration for your next release or whatever it might
Yeah,
be, right?
yeah,
But
yes.
if it's something targeted to what you've done specifically in that part of that song or whatever, it's like, well, that's how I wrote the song and that's how it sounds right now.
If someone cares enough to even give their opinion, that's kind of a cool thing too.
Of course.
You know?
It means that they've actually taken the time to even listen to
and they
it.
care
I
enough
was
to tell
just
you.
going to
Yeah.
say that. It means
exactly.
they've actually listened to it.
And
so
that's why I
thank you.
don't mind the constructive feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't get myself pressured
Yeah.
to feel, I don't get...
It wouldn't affect your next
I don't get down in my head about it and think that the release is fucked now
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of that
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like,
No,
I'm
fair
still
enough.
proud of it, you know?
But there are some people that would take it to heart too.
Of course.
And so I hope with us discussing this that, don't feel like you need to stop singing or change anything about you because someone has said, you should have done this or whatever.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
totally get you, bro.
definitely.
Totally
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, was it?
You could have jumped in, but we
I
kind of
was
just went on
actually
that.
enjoying it. Yeah. It was good because there's lots of different perspectives, and I guess you're right. Like at the end of the day, music is subjective and stuff, and it's like I feel like at least with me as well, when I'm writing, there's always that kind of thing where it's like I write it and then I'm like, oh, but is it catchy enough? Is it something enough? Am I missing something? Do I want to tweak it a bit to make it more like marketable and stuff? Or do I want to keep it 100% me and stuff? And it's like, it's a fair debate and like, there's no wrong answer to
Yeah.
it. Like I always gravitate towards like, well, I do want people to listen to it. I do want people to enjoy it and feel something. So like I kind of switch it a little bit to make it a bit more marketable or something, or I guess like fit the structure and stuff. But if I was to just keep it 100% me and how it originally was as well, that's also fine as well. It's a really tricky one.
is.
I don't know the answer to it
Well,
because it's
I
like
think
there is no, I guess.
John
so.
Connolly from Seven Dust summed it up to me quite perfectly, right? So he's a mate of mine, and we were chatting one day about this album and talking exactly about this. And he just said it to me. He goes, "Is it good enough for you?" And I went, "Yes." He said, "There you go. It's good
Yeah.
enough."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Bam! Okay, let's go."
Yeah, like I kind of sum it up the same way.
Yeah.
I think to myself, would I listen to this? Yes or no? Would I listen to this or would I skip? Yeah, so that's how I measure something if I like or if I'm satisfied with what I'm hearing. Would I listen to it?
Yeah.
When I'm writing, I mean, so.
No, that's so true. And I think that's what people say as well with like all kind of creative mediums. Like even it's like YouTube and stuff, they're like, oh, you just create what you want to see and
Yeah.
there will be people similar to you and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like every kind of creative endeavor, I guess it's the
Yeah.
same. It's like there are people that are going to enjoy exactly what you enjoy and stuff. And
Yeah.
then if those people change their mind with the next release, there's going to be other people taking their spot anyway. Someone
Yeah.
else will like it. So, yeah.
100%, bro.
Wes,
100%.
have you got new music on the radar, mate? Like,
Yeah, I do. I'm actually sitting on a few now that I'm pretty excited for. And then while I'm kind of sitting on them, I am kind of trying to work on that album because I'm like, I want that to
Yeah.
get like done at some point, hopefully this year, something like that. But yeah, there's a couple of ones that they're a bit different sounds as well. So I'm still tossing up between them, but I know my next release I'm very excited for. It's like, it's a bit more experimental. I'm working with one guy, his name is KB, and he lives up in the hills, and we've done a few sessions. Like we did weekly sessions for a while because he was coming on my tour to help me, you know, do DJing and producing and stuff like that. So it was really good. And we made a song together that he just showed me an early demo of one of his songs. And I was like, dude, you have to do something with that song. And he was kind of sitting on it and he wasn't sure what to do. So we kind of just tackled it together. And the original demo is like this acoustic guitar kind of track. And now it's like a very kind of experimental track. Like it's like it starts acoustic and then there's some not electronic, but there's like a heavier drop in it. And then the outro is like, this kind of like, I don't know, it feels like a end of a coming of age movie type of drop at the end and stuff. So it's like, we really like it. And we had the same problem. We're like, all right, we like the song, but the marketability aspect is probably not as much there because it's like 4 and a bit minutes long. So longer than like your average, not super long obviously, but it's like longer than your average. And then we're like, how do we promo this song? Because there's so many different parts to it.
Yeah.
And then we just sat there and we're like, honestly, doesn't really matter. We're not going to change anything about the song. We both like, we are so happy with this song. I was like, this is probably my favorite song I've been a part of. He said like the same
but
thing.
you know,
So I was
that's like another song for your album.
Yeah.
Not every song
Yeah.
on an album has to be a single.
Exactly.
Do you know
Yeah,
what
true,
I mean?
true.
Like every song on an album tells a story or makes up part of the story of the album.
Yeah.
And so that could be one of those very pivotal moments in the album,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, and that could kind of mark like a changing of pace for the album as well. You know, you
Exactly.
kind of start it in that slower field and that song starts slower and then builds up to something more intense and then the rest of the album can kind of run with that, you know, that more intense part. So
I want to
100%
hear this
right.
song now.
I know, same. Like I'm like, come
Is there a
on.
release date for it, or are you
Don't
still
hold
working on it?
Still working on it,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it'll be, I mean, most likely, what is it now? It's end of Feb, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it would be towards the end of March. So, because
Nice.
we're pretty keen to upload it soon. Like everything's done, like cover art, final mix and
Excellent,
stuff.
excellent.
We sorted the visuals. We just haven't shot them yet, but super simple stuff. So,
Excellent.
yeah, so it should be good to go.
Oh,
I
good
think.
I'm
stuff,
like
mate.
just so keen. It just sounds like such a cool project, eh? So I'm
Yeah.
so keen to have a listen.
Oh,
and,
no.
and no,
Putting the
what do you mean?
pressure
Oh
on.
no, no, it's great. And you're opening up to the rest of the people that are watching.
Hell yeah.
So,
Yes, true.
No, I'm super keen. Like just hearing you talk about it and seeing like how like your energy about it, and I really want to see you live. And I was going to ask, are you using like a DJ live as well?
Depends. Like I kind of get booked for 2 different types of gigs now where it's like if it's a smaller budget or it's like a more rap or kind of electronic-y kind of show, I'll usually just do me and a DJ.
Okay.
And then if it's a headline one or I'm supporting someone that's more like, you know, using a band as well, then that's when I'll have my band. So I don't have a DJ if I'm doing the band or something. We don't have in-ears yet, which is really bad. I'm not going to lie. But we're working on it. We're working on
all
it.
progress,
expensive,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
They are expensive.
Yeah, they are. And our band is like 5 now, so
Yeah.
I'm like, we kind of, I guess, we don't really all need to have it, I guess, but yeah, but yeah. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
No, that's
no,
kind of
good.
fine. No, I
That's
just
good.
because it's kind of like, you know, when you are asked a question, you're thinking in the minute, and then you're kind of like,
Yep.
oh, we're doing this, blah, 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 blah. But then you think, oh, but maybe we could do that. Hey, but oh no, I don't have
What-
in-ears. Ah.
As for the in-ears, like what
Yeah.
my band does is we just put our drummer onto in-ears. And so then we've got like a backing track or whatever
Yeah.
going through the fallbacks.
Yeah.
And
That's probably the way to go, isn't it?
well, it's the cheapest way to go.
Yeah.
The easiest.
And it's effective for you guys.
Yeah, because then you know your drummer is on a click track. The click track
Yeah,
going in
yeah.
one, the backing track in the other. Yeah, and you just split it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so effective.
Easy.
And
Yeah.
then you know your drummer is always in time.
Yeah.
And you can program like your count-ins and stuff like
As
that.
a singer, I don't love in-ears.
No?
No, I don't. I find it really difficult. I don't.
I've never had to use them.
I just don't. I really struggle with. I like the ambience around me, and I just struggle. I feel like everything is too in my head,
Yeah.
and it kind of gives me a bit of vertigo,
Yeah,
and I
right.
don't like it. Like I just don't.
just be old school, man. Like you don't need them. Like, you know.
They're good. I mean, they really help, but I think you just either love them or don't.
Yeah.
Or just tolerate
I
it.
think it really depends on your stage presence as well. Like you might have like songs linking into other songs, and like that's why you need to know like, okay, the BPM and the time signature is going to change now. You know, so it's like, okay, we're linking into that next song. That's when you'd need in-ears to know this is the point where it's going from like a 4/4 to a 6/8 or
Oh.
Yeah.
so and so. You
Yeah.
know.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, but it's working
Yeah.
for you right now anyway.
Dude,
Yeah.
I've got to ask. So you've got music out there now, and
Yep.
so Wesley Black, that is like the name of
The artist name?
Artist name.
Yes,
and
correct.
and the band. So
Yeah.
So people can find your music on Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah, definitely.
All of that.
All of that. Yep. Just under Wesley Black.
And social media, Facebook.
Yeah, I usually
Instagram.
go. Yeah. All social media, I pretty much go Wesley Black TV because Wesley Black was taken, to be honest.
Oh,
But yeah, and then Facebook, all that kind of stuff as well. So
Cool.
yep. Yeah,
Awesome.
should be on there.
Sick, dude. All right, before we let you go, because we are running out of time, we got a couple of segments. One's called What's on Repeat.
Yep.
And so if we were to go into your Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, whatever,
Yeah.
your CD collection, what is a song or a band that you just can't get enough of at the moment and it's on repeat?
Oh, that's a great question. I think at the moment, Pine Grove is a band that I only recently discovered. Been obsessed with them for a while. Kind of like some American Midwest emo kind of
cool.
thing.
Pine Grove.
Yeah, really good. Like they have this one Yellow album. I always forget what it's called. I think it's called
Yellow.
The Story So Far, possibly. But really good. And then I really been loving Grimes at the moment as well.
Yeah.
And then Smashing Pumpkins is always on repeat as
Yeah.
well. I mean, to be honest, so is Breaking Benjamin. That's always on.
Oh, yeah.
I always, if I need to get hyped up before something, chuck that on.
100%,
And then
yeah,
I'm
like,
okay,
yeah.
I'm ready.
That's awesome.
And right before we let you go, we've got another segment called Called Out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who's someone in Perth that you want to see jump on the show? Call them
Ooh.
out to the camera.
Yep.
Okay. Can I call out a few?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
man.
on, multiples.
I'm thinking 3 off the top of my head. I'm thinking my friend Goon. He's like one of my closest friends in music.
Did you
He's
say goon?
Goon.
Like goon bag?
yeah. That's him. He is a rapper, but he's really obsessed with like movies, film, and stuff like that.
Wicked.
He's done a bit of acting as well in his music videos,
Okay.
and yeah, he's pretty good. So I think he would be a good kind
That's
of mesh.
good. That's
Love
good.
that. Goon, you're up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also say Caleb. He goes by Caleb 400. He's a videographer in Perth. Makes really
Wicked.
crazy music videos.
Wicked.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
he'd be good because that's another kind of different element. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
I have to shout out one musician. First one that came to mind because we just kind of did a song together. I just sent him something and he sent me back with his vocals on it, and it was so good that I was like, well, now I might have to keep it. So his name is Loza, and he just released a song. So that's Adam Lozza on Instagram. He's really talented. He makes like very like new wave kind of rap stuff, but he's really good and he's really driven. So
Wicked.
yeah, that's a couple of people I can think of off the top of my
Great
head.
job.
So-
That's
Mate,
awesome.
Well, you
Yeah,
know that
that's
we're going
really
to be
cool.
coming
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
After
Yeah.
the show,
That's like-
if you could, can you please link us with their info?
100%, yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to be giving them a tap on the shoulder and saying, get your fucking ass on the show.
Yeah.
It's been such a joy having you on and sharing your story.
Oh, thank you so much.
We might have to think about getting you back so you can do
Yeah.
a performance for us.
100%.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Hell yeah.
Behind. That's why we have this wonderful venue.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, please just come back, and once that song you were talking about, the acoustic thing.
Yes.
So, yeah. Just do that one.
I'll come back with in-ears as well.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, we want to thank our sponsors.
Thank you very much to Dazzle Home Loans, taking the worry out of buying your first home. Also to Mustang Print in Alkimos, and also our new mates at 11.
Ta-da!
Peter
Yeah.
Renzullo, Scudley Films.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much for joining us, brother.
Thank you.
Always
Thanks,
a pleasure.
Pete.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Wesley, you're a really cool dude,
You
man.
are. It's a
thank you.
pleasure.
I like
No,
you.
thanks. You guys
And
are awesome. So I had a great time. So thank you so much.
It's the lollies.
We get hyped up with the sugar, bro.
Yep.
Can't wait to
Good.
listen to your music.
Yes.
Check him out on all social media platforms. We're out.
See you.
Bye, guys.
Catch ya.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Jardel from Big Things Coming, and we are looking for more guests for our show. So if you're into music, dance, the arts, photography, videography, anything in between, any genres, feel free to send us a message and we'll get you on our show.